Hello and welcome to Sports Talk, the first of the year. It's Saturday. Saturday? Why am I rushing? It is Saturday, January 8th, 2022. I am Daniel Blake. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed your holidays. I did, for the most part. Say you never really do much because of the pandemic and everything, but the fact that I'm here and I have fairly good health. I'm extremely grateful. Before I start the show, as usual, you know that Sports Talk is brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency, Country Above Self, and the Accountant General's Department, service with excellence, touching the life of every Jamaican. Please don't forget to download the Love FM app if you want to listen to the show on the go. If you're not around the radio, you can also open up your browser, love101.org, and you can listen live there. And as usual, there's so many other ways, including YouTube and Facebook. Hello to everyone in the YouTube and Facebook land. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, so the WhatsApp number 876-997-3125. 876-997-3125. That is the WhatsApp number, and I'm going to need you to message me today. Tell me what you are looking forward to the most in sports in 2022. We have a packed year, so just tell me what you are looking forward to the most in sports, not your personal life, in sports. You can also leave it in the comments in YouTube and Facebook, and I will read it right then and there. So, again, thank you guys for joining me. It's time to do the Daniel log.
This is James Blake.
This is Hope Blake,
I am Alan Blake, and it's time for the Daniel log.
the Daniel Log.
The Daniel.
Yes, it's the Daniel log. So over the Christmas period, there were a lot of issues that I guess I could have spoken about because there were a lot. Surprisingly, there were a lot, but I'm going to talk about one that is important to me, at least, right? And before I start, I just want to say that I'm not a huge fan of double standards. I believe in equity, right? So treat everybody the same, whether you're rich or you're poor. You think that one is pretty and one is ugly, it don't matter. Treat people the same, right? So at the start of this week, face-to-face school resumed here in Jamaica for those watching internationally. And it's good that a lot of our students are able to get back in the classroom because a lot suffered with the online classes. Teachers also found it difficult, so it's great. Restaurants over the last few months have been allowing more dine-ins and everything. They've been making more money. Supermarkets. I can I can go on and on, right? But sports seems to always get the back burner. So for those who don't know, the West Indies, they are playing Ireland right now as I'm speaking, or them gone lunch, one of them. But anyways, they are playing right now in Jamaica at Sabina Park, and I assume most of you didn't know that. But why don't you know that? Well, there isn't much fanfare because there are no fans in the stadium. They were granted, I believe, 2,000 fans at first, but then, the Omicron cases and general COVID cases came and then it stopped. The government withdrew. Fine. Schoolboy football, they are going to be playing games today at Stadium East and in the next few weeks, but the government also told them that they can't have fans either. And there are other sports that are going on. The Jamaica Premier League is going to start soon, and they won't be able to have fans until they're given the go ahead by the government too. And I am completely fine with that. I'm completely fine with that because I support protecting our citizens, protecting the health and the welfare of our citizens. And what we've noticed about COVID is that COVID doesn't discriminate. So if they have to take measures to protect the citizens, I'm all for it. What I'm not all for is the double standard. So you know that you can go in any restaurant or restaurants that offer dinings and you don't need to show any proof of vaccination. I was on Instagram and I saw a post from a fairly popular restaurant that was boasting that they had a full house. Like the parking lot, there were no empty spaces. Inside was rammed. And many restaurants, especially over the holiday period and even up to this point, still quite full. If you go in the supermarkets, remember when the pandemic just started and you had to line up in the hot sun because they were only allowing certain people inside? You remember that? No, you basically can just walk in, the aisle them full, line them full, and everything. And again, you don't need to show proof of vaccination. You can go into any public office right now if you want, pay certain bills or whatever. You don't need to show proof of vaccination. But sports that have proposed that they will only allow vaccinated fans in these mega stadiums, well, not mega stadiums, but stadiums that can hold 5, 10, 15, even 20,000 people. They have proposed that in open air, you can host the event in open air, have fans spread out throughout the entire stadium, and they have to be fully vaccinated. But the government said no. Why? Why isn't sports given that same treatment like everybody else? And I want to read part of the statement from the local government ministry, who says, quote, this is just part of it. The government will exercise flexibility as the situation changes, as the role and impact of sports on social well-being, social development, and on the local economies of communities is fully acknowledged. Why why did they have to emphasize the social well-being or social development? Translation, we know say we love see people run up and down and kick ball or whatever, but until then, when we determine when it's safer, we'll give you the chance to watch. Because we don't take sports seriously. We still see sports as this I like I said, this like run up and down thing. And it's only until our athletes go to the Olympics, go to World Championships, playing the overseas football leagues, cricket leagues, whatever it is. And when they come back and do well, then we go to the airport, we pose, we take picture with them, we congratulate them on our social media pages. But generally, it seems that from the top, they don't really they don't really care that much, and it's only because there is so many pressure from so many associations why they even considered it. Because even last year, some associations said that they were waiting for responses for months from the health ministry and the local government ministry. Months. And last year I said my wish is that we can all come together and make Jamaica better. And sports is one of those things that can make Jamaica better. Sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And we have yet to capitalize on that here in Jamaica. And having fans in the stadium is part of that. A lot of our associations right now, them in Jamaican terms, them broke like dog. Like dog. I wonder why them say broke like dog. Like do dogs have like a wealth scale? Well, anyways, a lot of our associations end up making money from ticket receipts. But again, we just have to wait. So again, I don't want people to think that I'm advocating for for full stadiums or anything like that, and the government must put people at risk. But I think there needs to be a level playing field, and the reason why some of these other industries remain open and whatever is because they believe that those industries are more vital to our economy and our social well-being than sports. And I'm hoping that really changes this year, next year, and the years to come because we have so many talented individuals. We have so many things that would make us proud if we truly invested in sports. Trust me, it would really make me feel good if we took sports seriously in 2022. I'm willing to forget all the years that have gone by. I truly am. But for this year, please take sports seriously. Please. And it's no fun when you host a sports show. I hope I'm not the only advocate. But I'm advocating for sports. All right, so that was the Daniel Lord for this week. Um, as I mentioned, and well, I don't think I mentioned it from the start, but if you heard the promo and have seen the promos, netball superstar Sunshine Girls captain Jhaniele Fowler is going to be joining the show at 1:30. I spoke to her yesterday, so you'll be able to listen and watch for those on Facebook and YouTube. So you'll be able to see that interview after the 1:30 break. But then we are going to take a break right now on Sports Talk. And then when I come back, I want to see those responses to what you're looking forward to the most in sports for this year. Remember the WhatsApp number 876-997-3125. 876-997-3125. You can also leave your comments on Facebook and in the YouTube stream, and I will read those live. All right, so we're going to take a break and we'll be back with Sports Talk.
Hello? Hello? Nobody light it. Protect the land. Respect the warning.
The time by Jamaicans Against Bushfires, JAB, is
It is 1:15.
Love 101 invites you to listen to Encounter, presented by the Jamaica Association of Full Gospel Churches, Thursdays at 10 p.m. Every first Thursday, listen for words of upliftment from the Lighthouse Assembly with Bishop Rowan Edwards. Every second Thursday at 10 p.m., listen for a word of encouragement from Mojis Ministries International. That's Women of God in Service with Reverend Dr. Elaine Richards. Every third Thursday, receive words of strength and power from Praise Deliverance Ministry with Senior Pastor Fitzroy Carr. And every fourth Thursday, it's words of inspiration from the New United Bible Way Church of God with Reverend Dr. Jasmine Brown. For fifth Thursdays, the Jamaica Association of Full Gospel Churches shares words of hope. That's Encounter, presented by the Jamaica Association of Full Gospel Churches every Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Love 101 invites you to listen to Rhapsody of Realities, brought to you by Christ Embassy Jamaica. Rhapsody of Realities comes to you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. inside the Morning Express. That's Rhapsody of Realities, brought to you by Christ Embassy Jamaica. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Every Sunday, Love 101 FM brings you times of worship in music and the spoken word to encourage and uplift. Tune in at 8 a.m. for a powerful word from the Kingston Open Bible Church and for the blessing that awaits you. At 10 a.m., it's time for Divine Service with the Bethel Baptist Church where words of encouragement are shared. Then at 11 a.m., it's time to pause for Sunday service at the New Testament Church of God shares the word of the Lord. The United Church service begins at 3:30 Sunday afternoon with words of inspiration. The Anglican Diocese brings words to strengthen you at 6 p.m. And at 8 p.m., Pastor Peter Burnett teaches lessons from the Holy Book during Radio Bible School. Be sure to join every Sunday to worship in God's presence with a series of specially prepared messages in words and musical inspiration by tuning in to Love 101 FM, the family station.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on Love 101 this Saturday. I keep saying that. This Saturday, January 8th, 2022. Thank you so much for staying with me for today. Remember, I asked you to send in your WhatsApp and some of your comments as to what you're looking forward to the most in sports in 2022. The WhatsApp number is 876-997-3125. That's 997-3125. Or if you want to call, if you prefer to call, you can call me at 876-968-8327 or 968-8328. So 968-8327, 968-8328. All right, so let me start off with some of the first comments. Sheldon says that he's looking forward to the World Cup. That is this year in Qatar. It's going to be played at a very weird time this year. It's going to be played in December. That's because Qatar is extremely hot. So there were concerns years ago that if they played it in the summer, that not only the players would suffer, but the fans would suffer, watching it and everything like that. So having the World Cup in December is going to be it's going to be strange, but I'm still going to look forward to it, even if Jamaica don't qualify. I think I still will enjoy it. I always enjoy watching the World Cup. Jonathan says the World Cup as well, especially at the weirdest time of the year. And another reason why it's going to be weird is because a lot of the leagues, the international leagues, are going to break. So, usually um, when the World Cup is held in the summer, most leagues like end in April, May. You train with your national team and then you go off. What's going to happen is in December, the leagues are going to break, and then teams are essentially going to only spend maybe a week, week and a half preparing with the national team, and then that's it. And then after the World Cup is done, they're not going to have a break like they usually do in the summer. They're just going to restart their leagues again. So players, if you decide to watch the show today, take care of yourself this year, all right? Because you see, next year y'all go boss. Um, Suzette from Mount Friendship, St. Andrew says she's looking forward to the International World Games in the summer, as well as local champs. All right, so I local champs I think is the ISA boys and girls champs, the International World Games in the summer. All right, Suzette, tell me what that is. Um, because maybe it's me embarrassing myself, and there is an international world games in the summer. I wonder if you mean world championships. You mean world championships, like the athletics world championships? Tell me if that's what you mean, and then I will clarify. Um, Ariel, hey, says definitely looking forward to the World Cup. Also looking forward to seeing our track and field athletes continue to dominate and excel. So also this year, more athletes can compete at the Commonwealth Games and the World Championships. So it's going to be a track and field filled year. Um, so we might, although we won't see the Americans or a lot of the, I guess, the non-British or the non-British colonies compete in the Commonwealth Games, but we'll still see some competitive action in the Commonwealth Games. And we're also going to see our netballers compete in the Commonwealth Games. So look out for that as well. Um, Tiffany says, looking forward to actually watching sports in person whenever that happens for 2022. I am looking forward to that as well. I believe I have a caller. Good afternoon, caller. Hold on there, caller. We're barely hearing you. Hello? All right. I lost that caller there. And that's my first caller ever. Oh my gosh. That's so disappointing. Anyways, Suzette clarifying, and she says yes, that's what she meant. The World Championships, this year, which is in America, so you don't have to wake up in any crazy time. Like, remember when last year you used to like, well, I don't know if only used to do it, but I was up from 4 a.m. watching races and one bag of something. Anyways, let me try this again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. What's your name?
I'm Yvette.
Hi, Yvette. What are you looking forward to the most?
Is this Love 101?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's my daughter. Write down the number and call. I'm sorry.
Okay, not a problem. All right. Thank you, daughter, for giving me my second caller ever. I really appreciate that as well. Evangeline says that she wants local netball to return in 2022, which we'll also be talking to Jhaniele Fowler in a few. There has been no local netball in Jamaica since the pandemic. The Sunshine Girls did play Trinidad and the male netball team. Yes, the males have a netball team. Um, but we actually haven't had any club leagues, so we'll definitely be looking out for that. All right, gonna try another call. Dear Lord, please let it be sports call. Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany. How are
Hi.
you?
Um, I just calling to say, I'm really hoping that the government will allow fans to, you know, be a part of the sporting events this year because I don't understand why the whole world is opening up. We are allowing people to come in, you know, and we cannot have any little privileges being fully vaccinated, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if we're allowed to go and we have to do a COVID test or something,
Mm-hmm.
anything at all. Just something to say, okay, yes, guys, we believe in the sports. We
Mm-hmm.
believe that fans are important, regardless of the sport, football, cricket, swimming, anything actually. You know, I feel like the athletes themselves need fan support. I mean, I know I've heard people say, especially in track and field when they're running and they don't feel like the legs can carry them anymore, and then they
Mm-hmm.
hear fans
Mm-hmm.
cheering, it gives them the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why is the government opening everywhere else? And sports is such a big part of Jamaican culture. Sports is a big part of brand Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trying to build brand Jamaica back again, being in the pandemic and everything. Tourism had to slow down and all of that. But no, everywhere is opening up, all the hotels, they're fine, frolicking, having a good time. And sports lovers are sitting at home watching, if it even comes on TV, because
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I had to watch cricket. I'm watching cricket right now on ESPN.
you are probably one of the 16 people in Jamaica watching that match right
I know, and I tell you, I have to watch it because I feel like, you know, nobody knew. I mean, we saw the tour come on
now. Mm-hmm.
Instagram if you follow the Windies page,
Mm-hmm.
and then we saw a team, and then they took off the post, and then they put on a different team, and it was like, okay, if you're not fully following, you wouldn't have thought that the tour was still going
Yeah,
on, because they're pushing the England tour.
yeah. And I
You know
think
what I mean? And then they're pushing, and I don't have a problem with it. They're pushing the ICC World on the 19th, I believe,
mm-hmm.
because people are allowed to go. You
Yeah.
get me? So they know where their fans are. And it's important because, we have three people who are on their West Indies debut. Shamar Brooks just batted 93 first international, you know what I mean? First international ODI to who? His fellow teammates who already know that he has talent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard, being an avid sports lover and such. I know other people who are listening probably feel the
Mm-hmm.
same way as I do. You know, we're not asking for much. There are three ODIs. Even if we can go to the last one, I'm not even sure if the T20 is happening still, because
Oh.
there's no, there's nothing there to say, oh yes, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
kind of hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard just knowing things are going on, and in other parts of the world they're allowed to, because Barbados is, I think Kensington Oval is opened up. It's been
Yes.
opened up from in the
Yes.
summer,
Yes.
and it's hard. It's
It's
hard for us
yeah, it
because
is.
how then do we tell our athletes, we support you and all of that, only when they're on like a international
Oh my.
circuits and winning big? Is that what it is? Like,
Tiffany,
oh, it's
Tiffany,
okay if you're at home, but we don't really care until you get big. Like, that's how I
Tiffany,
feel.
don't make me get upset again. I I really want to continue this conversation, and because I have so many things to talk about, but we are on the 1:30 break. So Tiffany, please, the phone lines will always be open. So
Okay.
next week we'll talk about this so much more. But oh boy, you really got me riled up. But thank you, Tiffany.
No problem.
All right, Tiffany bringing up some great points there. All right, so we're going to go into our second break, and then after that, we'll be joined by Jhaniele Fowler.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness invites members of the public to attend the vaccination site Saturday, January 8th, Sunday, January 9th, to receive their first or second dose of the AstraZeneca,
All
Sinopharm,
right, Jhaniele, thank
Johnson
you
and
so
Johnson
much for
vaccine
joining
for
me
persons
today.
18 years and older. Jamaicans 12 years and older will also be offered the first or second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Here are the sites for Saturday, January 8th: Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Joseph's Hospital, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doheny Park Health Center and Harborview Health Center, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Westmoreland, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Savannah Lamar Central Medical Center and Royal Medical Center. In St. James, Montego Bay Comprehensive Health Center, 10:05, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. St. Catherine, Old Harbor Civic Center, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And in Hanover, Lucy Health Center, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Here are the sites for Sunday, January 9th. Kingston and St. Andrew, Sunrise Health Center, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. St. Catherine, Sydenham Health Center, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. St. James, Montego Bay Comprehensive Health Center, Type 5, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Persons should take their vaccination holding a government-issued ID or letter from a justice of the peace to the sites. Let's get vaccinated and get back to life.
Discover your spiritual gift for evangelism at Deeper Life Bible School. Study to show yourself approved by God. Empower yourself to pray and preach with boldness. 8 locations across Jamaica. No age limit, no CXC required. Classes once per week. Payment plans available. Register now for the new semester. Empower yourself to be a soul winner and church worker. Call Deeper Life Bible School 923-1040 or 631-7108.
Do what? Nobody light it. What your man say? Do what? No light what? Nobody light it. You know, sister, we in a dry season. Plus breeze a blow. You are set me up for disaster. Disaster? What kind of disaster? Bushfire, Joe. Bushfire. If that the fire they catch and spread, we can lose everything. House, land, car, gone. See a carelessness. Nobody light it. Watch. I feel with duty to protect life and property. Yes. Be glad you respect the one.
This message was brought to you by Jamaicans Against Bushfires. Jab, plan, protect, prevent.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station Love 101. So, as promised, Sunshine Girls captain and the netball superstar, Jhaniele Fowler, she spoke to me yesterday just about her record breaking 21, the Sunshine Girls as they head into a Commonwealth year, and just the state of local netball. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed the interview. So, here we go for joining me today. I obviously want to start off with another major accomplishment of yours, named Player of the Season in the Suncorp Netball League in Australia for the 4th season in a row. No one has ever done that. How special was it to know that you got that for the 4th year running?
To be honest, it was extremely special. However, when I was initially told, I thought they were joking. Like, I thought they were just having some fun, maybe trying to tell me something else, but they just put that in there, you know. But then, when I kept asking, "Are you serious? Like, are you calling the right person?" And they said, "Yes, Jhaniele, it is you. What are you talking about?" And I'm like, it took me a while to kind of get into the happy mood to really understood what had happened, but it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I know that your team, the West Coast Fever, didn't win it all, but you had an amazing year. You scored almost 900 goals, which seems absolutely ridiculous to me. And not saying that you are old, but you are 32, and it seems that you have been getting better with age. Has that sort of surprised you, whereas we've seen netballers in the past kind of declined, or athletes in general decline as they pass that 30 mark, but you just seem to be getting better?
Listen, I think a little bit of wine. It's I think it's netball, and I have to give credit to the position that I play. In the goal shooting position, you have a little bit more lifespan. And it's how you take care of yourself and just how you want it. I have to give myself a lot of credit for the work that I put in order to still be on top, in order to continue to be good. And yeah, players do decline and do go down, but it's just what you want, and I reckon how you treat your body that helps you to stay in the game much longer.
Yeah. You've, as I mentioned, you've been named Player of the Year 4 seasons running down in Australia. But here in Jamaica, you don't, to me, you don't seem to get that fair share, because the National Sportswoman of the Year awards nominees came out, and you aren't on the list, and it's rare when we see netballers even make the list. um, does it disappoint you that you don't get that recognition from our local associations here, our local bodies here?
In a small sense, it does, but then because I'm so used to netball not being recognized, and because we're told that we're not um, playing as much games throughout the years as the athletes who run a lot more and put up a lot more work. So I guess something that I just know it is what it is. You get me? I don't really let it bother me. I just keep letting my performance speak for itself and just continue to make myself proud, really.
Yeah. And speaking of that, there hasn't been any local netball played here in Jamaica since the start of the pandemic. We've had the Sunshine Series with Trinidad and the male netball team recently, but we have seen other sports, football, cricket, and a host of other sports that have been given that shot to play in the pandemic. Do you think that the government and corporate Jamaica just generally doesn't take netball seriously, because it seems that everyone else is getting that shot to be playing, whereas netball is just left out in the cold?
I don't want to say they don't take us seriously, but I want to. They lead us to think that we're not as important as the other sports, and it is very unfortunate and unfair to us because we do put up a lot of work. We do put in the work. We do what we have to do to be where we are. We're number 4 in the world. We have teams like Australia, New Zealand, England, who when we come up against them, we put up a very good fight. If we are getting all these help from the government, if we're training on Zoom, we weren't given the go ahead to come in with amongst ourselves to train physically, and that for me was very hard and disappointing because we need that. It's a like we're not able to train apart. It's a team sport, so we needed to have that. We did not have that for a long time, So I do feel that they're not thinking about us as much as they ought to.
Yeah. And when you look on the national team, the Sunshine Girls, we've had a lot of stars that have broken through over the years. Shamira Sterling, Katie and Dehaney, Latanya Wilson, Shimona Nelson, and I obviously could go on. And you yourself broke through by playing for Walgrovians and also the national team. Are you concerned that with the fact that there's no senior or junior netball leagues playing here in Jamaica, are you fearful that the national team may lose out on some of our rising talents who probably have gone on to play different sports or have just lost interest?
Definitely, I'm more than concerned because I'm pretty sure a lot of these players maybe just put netball aside and they're like, okay, I'm just going to do what it is else I have to do, not thinking about netball anymore because there's no netball being played. So, of course, a lot of talent is gone wasted, not being recognized because there is nowhere for them to exhibit their talent. You get what I'm saying? So, it's unfortunate, and I hope that we're able to get this up and running very soon.
Yeah, and I don't really want to too much focus on the negative side, but last year the Sunshine Girls buses were stolen. I know some investigations were done, and I think that there's going to be a cash settlement soon to try and get another bus. But when you think about a situation like that, one, are you surprised that like the general public, because we assume that it's just regular men and women who probably committed the act of taking the bus, are you surprised that they they themselves don't see netball as a priority, and also the fact that no one has really stepped up to say, hey, here are some new buses for our most successful national team?
Obviously, the so-called fees aren't patriotic because the buses were fully um embellished with our with players. It's stating that is the Sunshine Girl bus. You can see once you see that bus, you know that there are Sunshine Girls traveling in it. The national netball team is traveling because it was so much um easily identified then. You know, for them to just go and steal it, well, to be honest, a thief is a thief. They thief anything. You know, I shouldn't be surprised, but I was in Australia when I got the news, and I was so disappointed knowing that we don't have any money to buy a bus ourselves, and we were given these two buses, so we were extremely happy to have them. The upkeep was really good because we took care of them well. The organization took care of them, so we have them for a long time. But unfortunately, these things didn't think that we needed them as much. I guess because there wasn't any netball playing, but we don't know what they're thinking. So yeah, it was very unfortunate. But in regards to us getting back buses quickly, as I said, I don't know. Well, not that I don't know, but it's hard for us when we need the support. Um, Budget and stewards, they stepped up and they loan us a bus, and they loan us a driver with the bus as well, and that was very commendable of them because that initiative was from their end, and we were really grateful for that. So apart from that, we would love to get buses donated to us because our country know that we always have to be asking for things. Netball isn't a rich sport. We have very rich players. I mean, we're rich in talent, and we'd love to exploit that a lot more. But we need the help of our country. We need the help of corporate Jamaica as well. To push us, to help us to get to that pinnacle of where we can get to.
Yeah. Speaking of where you can get to, this is a Commonwealth year. As I mentioned earlier, you did play Trinidad, England, and our male national team last year. I know that it is obviously not ideal preparations heading into a Commonwealth year, but what positives did you take from those games as the team looks to challenge for that Commonwealth goal?
So much positive. I reckon personally I took a lot more positive than negative. Trinidad game helped us to see where we're at playing with a Caribbean team. The male, they push us so much, so we play with them a lot, and they prepare us. To be honest, they're the main preparation that we normally get leading into any tournament, really. Playing with England, like the most positive that I took out of all three games or all three series was from England series where our preparation was very limited, going into England, and we know that we lost two games and we lost by a very big margin, especially in the second game. But what we knew, what we had, and what we came up with, and with the little that we had, and having to go and win the third game, like we learned so much from that. If we had gotten like another game to play or two more games to win the series, we would have won that series, given how much we've taken from the games and how much as a team and the coaching staff, like we were ready just to put together the right things, the right ingredients to just dominate, and as I said, England played New Zealand, they had so many tests before they played us. So they should have been just whopping us left, right, and center. And that proved hard for them to really dominate us. And so that's where we took like credit for knowing that even though we were not prepared well in terms of having the training sessions that we needed back home. We really do still have the team, the squad rather, to perform when we get on top. So if imagine if we are getting that preparation in the proper, the real way. I'm just so amazed at what we will produce.
Yeah. Um, I definitely understand that. But then I think shortly after that series, your teammate Shamira Sterling, she did an interview with the Observer, where she was saying that she plays consistent netball in Australia. She plays consistently well, but when it comes to the national team, she isn't able to shine. She says that she's shocked by some of the girls' approach to training and their overall attitude. I'm wondering if you yourself have seen that, and what I guess can be done for not only Shamira to shine, but also the other players that we know that are playing in Australia and England.
Personally, I think when you're a star, you'll always shine. No matter where you are, you should always shine. And whenever I come back home and I'm playing, I always try to play my best. And I'm not always like there. I'm going to have off games. I'm going to have maybe an off quarter in a game, but then if you're a star, you will pick it up, and when you shine dull a bit, you'll know what causes that, and you will up your game, and make sure that your star is shining. But as it relates to some of the ladies maybe not having the same energy that they ought to have throughout maybe the series or maybe the entire training sessions, a lot of things can account to that. Or ladies, they go out and they work and they come to train. And I know a lot of sports people, they do this, but I have to think that we're a little bit different from a lot of sports in the terms that we have to work, we have to go to school. Some of the times that we are training, and I know that people might be saying, but you want this and you have to do whatever it takes to get there. But sometimes it's really challenging and it's really hard when um, things are not being put in place as they ought to, and you're not getting the things that you need in order to perform well. And you have to be doing so much things, and you cannot just focus on what you need to focus on in order to perform and in order to show up for trainings and such as how you'd want to. We're professional athletes, Shamir and I. We go over to Australia and we play, and that's all we do. We just play netball. You get what I'm saying? So when we're there and playing, we have nothing else to really bother us. Those teams that we play for, they have much more resources than our national team has. So we don't have to be worrying about anything. There's nothing that we have to be thinking about. All the managers, they think and they do all those stuff for us. We just show up, train, and play. So I'm saying, so it's a bit easier for us to constantly shine then, you know. But when we come here, like, there are challenges, and all of this challenge also boils down to the fact that we lack a lot of resources and that we have to do so much more in order to perform well. But I think everybody's hearts and heads are in the right places.
Yeah. Speaking of that as well, Connie Francis returned in 2019, after the whole, I don't necessarily want to say debacle with Margaret Anderson and Winston Evers, but she returned. Um, how impressed have you been with her? I know that obviously she has years of experience and she has proven herself, but um, how impressed have you been with her since her return?
Let me just first say, I don't think there was a debacle between Margaret and Mr. Nevers with anybody in the organization. That's just on my side. That's what I think. As it relates to Connie returning, she has come back and she has been trying her best. She's very passionate about the sport which I really respect about her. She loves netball dearly. And she's just trying her best. She wants to see us succeed. She wants to see us win a Commonwealth gold, a World Cup gold, and she just wants to make sure we medal. So she's working hard, and I just want the best for her in terms of getting what she is working for with the team, and she'll definitely need some help because a coach always needs like what do you call it? What do we call that? Assistant coach. Oh my lord. An assistant coach to help them, when they would need like a voice to probably help them in a direction that they need to go, because they won't be seeing what they need to see all the time. So once we get that on board, we should be fine.
I know that the players in the past have aired out some issues with Netball Jamaica in terms of the presidency under Dr. Paula Daly Morris for a few years. Trisha Robinson has been her replacement. Um, have you been satisfied with what you've seen since she has become president, in terms of supporting Connie, the players, and just the overall program?
I think her coming into the program, I think she knew or she knows what needs to be done. There's a lot of work to be done, and I don't know if within her capacity, if she's, how could I say, well, maybe within her capacity, if she's doing as much or she's trying to do as much as she can do, but she knows what needs to be done. And I'm hoping that she can get this organization where it needs to be, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to get us to the top. We need sponsors on board, and that all boils down to the president and our board to get sponsors on board to help us so we can afford the resources that we need. So we haven't had much sponsors thus far. So we're hoping that they continue or she continues to push really hard in order for us to get where we need to.
Yeah, so in 2018, you guys just missed out on the final at the Commonwealth Games, finished with bronze in the end. I know that might still be slightly painful. But in terms of this year specifically, I think this is maybe the first time in maybe in a long while or ever that we have so many of our girls playing in professional leagues overseas. I think we have seven right now, including yourself in Australia, playing in England and so forth. Do you feel the most optimistic this time around, seeing that we have such a good talent base to really build on and to challenge for that gold medal?
To be honest, I always feel optimistic with our squads, with the selections that they have made going into big tournaments, because the talent that we have is, listen, it is so great for them to select from. And yes, I'm optimistic now because we do have very good experience going into selections when selections come. So the selectors have a wide range of from our players to select from. But it's how you can have, I reckon you can have the best players in the world and still come up short. So apart from having a really good team to select from, we also need them to be really good behind us to help us to bring that team together. So yes, I'm optimistic about the players that we have and the skill sets that we have, but just need to be convinced a little bit more that we're going to put together the right sauce in order to get that ingredient going for us to win come games.
Yeah. I know that the Suncorp League resumes in March. As I mentioned, the Commonwealth starts in July. In terms of your own personal goals for the year, I wonder if you have any major ones, because it seems like each year you keep breaking records, you keep scoring these um, insane amount of goals. Like it's hard to imagine that you have new objectives to sort of set for yourself personally. But I'm asking anyways, do you have any?
My personal goal for every year is always to be better than I was the year before. However, this one goal that I want to achieve is not, it's a personal goal, but it encompasses the team, because I want us to, we have gone so close to win a championship. We have gone to two finals and we have made two playoffs. Um, two finals, yes, and one playoff in the 4 years that I've been there, and we've not won the championship. And I reckon for me to be like the best player that I like I think of myself to be, not apart from everyone saying that I'm a great player, I reckon winning the championship in Australia, because I've won it in New Zealand, but winning it in Australia with the West Coast Fever is going to be the topping, you know. So that's what I want for this year, is to win the championship. Above all, above scoring, beating my records, you know, I want to win the championship. And I'm just going to have to do my best and my part as the goal shooter in order to get there.
I know that in other sports they have the goat conversation.
Care and how much you love them. Giving them things is not telling them that you love them, or is not showing that them that you love them. You can be anywhere in the world and that love can still emit, that love can still be present with them. When you're around them, make sure that you're present. Make sure that you're there. Not be around them and just be there. Make sure that you're hugging them, make sure that you're kissing them, make sure that you are mentally stimulating them so that they know that this is my mom, this is my dad. And you know, even if my parent is not with me, I know that the love that they have for me is still ever present. You know, my daughter always, I always hug her. She loves to hug, she loves to kiss me. And knowing that I'm always going to leave her for a bit, I always make sure that that connection, that bond is constantly being built between us. So when I'm away from her, she doesn't say, "Oh, mommy loves netball more than me." She goes, a lot of times I've said to her that I think I need to stop now because you're getting bigger and I need to be here with you. And she said, "Mommy, I know that this is what you love. I'm okay. I have grandma, I have daddy, and they're taking care of me when you're away. And I know that you love me so much. So do what you love to do. I'm cheering for you." She's my biggest critic, by the way. And also when I hear her saying those things, I know that okay, I'm doing something good, you know, by showing her that love when I'm with her, even when I'm on the phone with her, you know, always telling her that I love her, always being there for her just to have a little conversation with me, you know. So That's what I'd say. Be present for your child when you're there, when you're not even around them. Just make them know that you love them. Doesn't matter what you can give them, but that love and that bond, A1.
And I think that is a perfect way to end. Jhaniele, thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you all the best. And hopefully, when you win the title with West Coast Fever and when you get the gold at Commonwealth, that we'll be talking with you again. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's speak it into being, right?
Yeah, yes, yes, for sure. And that was my interview with Jhaniele Fowler, Sunshine Girls captain, um, four-time Player of the Year in the Australian League, and just an overall netball superstar as she heads into a very competitive 2022. I know I went slightly over. I do apologize. But thank you everyone so much for tuning in. For those who joined on YouTube and Facebook, apologies for any audio issues that you experienced throughout. But thank you again so much. I return next week, Saturday, January 15. 8 plus 7 is 15, yes. I have been, not I have been, I'm always Daniel Blake. But thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next week.